Yeah, the ones that I saw last year, Dave, just across the road here, there were probably 8 times that size.
Oh, yeah.
At 5 o'clock in the morning when I came out to work, right? So I think they were checking for adults and so on and so forth. And then that young lad gets busted.
What young lad?
Some diesel. 28.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
Oh, that is
16 plants.
Oh.
Kenny. Kenny can uncle.
Go up and get that bird.
Fly high!
Go up there with that bird.
Yeah, get that Catholic kite up there.
So, what did they do?
Flash altitude hole.
I don't know. I never really heard any more than you got busted. I slapped him on the tooth and he said you got busted before, right?
It's handling pretty well in the wind.
It's doing a really good job, yeah. Totally quite impressed.
Is that high rates or low rates?
It's second rate.
Like for them wings.
Yeah, the blade punches there. Actually handles really nice.
Whatever, eh?
Like my big green quad, my JJRC one, it's a little sluggish compared to this. This is a little more agile.
What's the damage on that?
I've seen them online at GearBest. They're selling for I think about $160, which isn't bad actually considering what you're getting too. That's actually a pretty decent price.
Well, what happens if you lose one of your motors? You land in the Hudson?
Yeah, if you're over water, yep.
Bubbly, you know.
that movie where Sully landed the plane in the Hudson last year. New York? Crash landed? There was a plane that went down and he lost his engine due to the Tom Hanks plays Sully.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty good. Yeah, that was, so they were giving him a hard time for, you could have made it back to the airport, all our simulations, so you could have made it back. Finally they played the simulations and then they realized he was right.
Well, I guess we should check and see if the hammer's okay.
Lost your feet.
I lost one.
Are they just snapped on?
They're snapped and screwed.
Wire, is that a ground wire then?
Got broken legs.
I'm lucky the camera's still.
Camera's working. It's moving anyway.
Turn the screen on, see if the power's on. Yeah, we got lucky. The camera is still functional.
He's alive.
It's still alive.
I
see his eyeball moving.
Frankincense.
Now, are the motors still any good is the bigger question. Got a little bit of grass in there.
Wow, look at all the different colored blades.
Oh, I'm not going to hold this without...
I betcha.
Yep. Okay, so we just got to put the landing gear back on her and a little bit less windier time.
Back in business.
And we're back in business.
Nice.
Back and forth.
I've seen 2 other videos on this that didn't do so well in the hits.
Yeah.
They wrecked the cameras.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
happened before.
had a feeling that, you know, the wind, you know, so
There
it's
needs to
not
be-
good for this kind of wind.
Those legs need to be reinforced to act as more of a guard for the camera.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Shugu.
They need to have
Shugu forever.
need to have
Yeah.
some kind of reinforcement across them to.
Yeah, a little more stability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the first thing I noticed, was the legs were a little on the flimsy.
Now, did you have to put this all together in a sense?
No,
to work?
no, you just have to put the legs on and the
Just on the
camera
legs.
on, and away you go.
Cool.
So guys, that was our maiden flight. It did really well, flies really good. Everything survived the crash. Good thing it was a very small light one at low altitude. And we'll put her back together next day where it's not windy like this. We'll give her another go, and I'll finish off the rest of this review in the house. So don't go away, instant for you. Okay guys, so we're back in. The quad did survive, yes! I wish it would have gone a lot better flight-wise. So there will be actually a final review on this quad. So this is kind of like a preliminary deal. It does okay in the wind, actually. What you got to watch for, I guess, is if the battery is probably running a little on the low side. What happened with the crash was when I was going back up, I had throttled back a bit, and I guess the wind pushed it at the same time as I was trying to recover it. And yeah, it wasn't going to agree with it, so not enough power, because this quad does have some weight to it, okay? So that's something to make note of, to watch, is your flight time, and things start getting a little bit lower on power, and it didn't kick in the low voltage cutoff to, you know, to tell me, hey, time to land. So it wasn't quite at that point, but I guess weak enough that to try and lift back up, the wind was just too much when it came at it, so we had a little crash. But the good news is everything survived. The camera's still good, works fine. I did not get any flight footage from the camera. Initially, when I had set this up in the house before I took it out, I had put the card in the camera, and I didn't get anything on the screen at the time. I guess I had to wait a little bit longer. So anyways, when I put the card right into the screen, boom, instant. So when I came back in, I swapped things around, checked it again, and put it into the camera, waited a few extra seconds, and the picture did come up on the screen. So you do have to wait a couple of seconds for it to come on the screen. And I tried recording with the camera. It does record, it does take snapshots, so the camera fully survived. The motor gears and the servo for the camera movement is also fine. So that's all good. Anyways, I will have more flights on this for you guys, because I really want to go through all the controls with you, except for one, and that is the emergency shutdown. I will not be showing you emergency shutdown, because that could actually cause a lot of damage, okay? But I will end up, you know, going through the headless mode, the takeoff, auto takeoff, auto landing. I'll go through the altitude hold a little bit more. I did put it in altitude hold for you guys outside, and you know, it's like anything else. It's not GPS controlled, so one thing you will find is you will lose a bit of that height when you're pitching forward or backward or whatever. You're gonna, or side to side, you're gonna lose a bit of that height until you stop doing that, and it should return to that last known height, okay? But otherwise, yeah, it's just the way it happens to work. Anyways, I know GearBest does sell these right now, and they're I think about 150 or 160 bucks Canadian, and I think that's actually a pretty darn good price for what you're getting. It is a really nice quad. It does handle really nice. It's going to handle some light wind to a little bit of a mid-wind. We had a bit of a medium wind out, and the odd little gust here and there, and you know, that's that gust and what I did that actually ended up resulting in the crash, plus the battery was getting a little on the low side, so I didn't have enough recovery juice for that. I am going to quickly go over a couple things for you, one of which is how to properly install this battery, so that you know. Now, you don't have to use the battery bracket lock screw if you don't want to. It's kind of optional. It stays on there really well. But to properly put this battery in so you can take it out just as easily, plug your battery in first, and then what you want to do is fish it off to the one side. Make sure your balance connector is facing forward, so that, and it can actually sit in behind underneath. and then just twist your wires down, and like so, and then you can put your cover right on. To take the battery back out, same deal, you can lift it out really easily, pull it out just like that, okay? Now right now I do have the card in the camera. I'm actually going to leave it in there. To reformat the card, it does use its own formatting routine, and you have to put the card into the screen and go through the menu choice in order to format the card. So let's turn the quad on. And boom. And we got camera there. So we'll turn our screen power on. Your screen is powered from the radio, and the radio does use 6 batteries. So we're going to wait a few seconds. There we go. So we've got our picture on screen here. So just show you the camera movement here. That's all the way up. And of course it goes down. Okay. Now, menu. Go into your menu. If you select camera, it just kicks you back to the camera viewing. Photo and video. You can view your photos and your video footage on the screen, but you got to take it out of the camera, pop it into the side port here, into the screen, and then you can view those. That's what those are for. And you just rotate your choices using the arrow keys here. Now in settings here, if the card is in the screen, you will be able to format the card. This is display settings, language settings, and then you want the advanced setting here. Enter information. That is going to tell you your firmware version, your card capacity, providing it's installed, okay, in the screen, and card available space once it's been formatted. Okay, go back to menu, and we're going to go to settings, press enter. Oh, wrong one. Menu. There we go. Enter. Advanced. Enter. Your information here. Firmware version. We just went through that. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay, back here. Enter. Okay. Advanced. Enter. Information, format the card. Okay, now there's no card sitting in the display right now, but if we hit enter, it's going to say device not exist. Okay, so that means there's no card in the display for it to format. Okay, and then you can hit reset all settings as well. And the manual clearly goes through everything for this quad really well. Now to save on power, of course, on your screen, you can turn your screen off if you're not going to be flying FPV mode, so you don't have to run the screen, okay? That'll give you a lot more battery life out of your radio. This is your return to home switch here. You just flick it down to return to home. Now, it's like the other quads. It's not GPS controlled. Probably will work better in headless mode than anything, okay? You have your trim controls here for left and right banking, forward and backward movement. Left and right switch here is for your yaw rate, to straighten out your yaw. And of course, when you are in non-altitude hold mode, if you click it up, it turns your lights off. Click it up again, turns them off, or turns them back on. Click it down, and it's going to adjust your speed control or your rates, so you'll get, you know, more pitch or back to where it comes factory setting. Okay. Your altitude hold mode is down below here. Headless mode is here. This is auto takeoff, auto landing. Now I know the auto takeoff works great on my other quad from Huajun Toys. I don't know about the auto takeoff and auto landing, how it works on this one yet, but we will have videos to show you that. I was hoping to do everything in one video, but it's not going to happen. The weather's not cooperating, but at least we got some stuff for you guys right away, and I do have some stuff to report. Then of course that auto shutdown thing for the emergency shutdown. Okay, they call it propeller shutdown. Press that, everything stops, quad drops like a stone. Okay, only in an absolute emergency. So be paying attention when you're pushing buttons on the radio that you don't accidentally hit that. Now on the back here, this button here is for flipping. You can only flip when you are not in altitude hold. Again, too windy today to try flipping. I will have some video for you, and we'll see how this flips because it says in the manual that it does. Click once quick, and that takes a snapshot. Push and hold till you get a couple of beeps. That starts your video recording. Push it again, it shuts down your video recording. Okay, really simple. Now they didn't label these buttons, but no big deal. It's in the manual. It's not that hard to remember. Left flip, right is your video and picture control. And you will see on screen too, when you do a picture, the little camera icon will go with a little red dot for a second and poof, it's off, so it's taking a snapshot. And when you're recording, it'll show you that your camera is now recording. So that's actually nice. It's all on screen for you that way. Okay, so I like the quad. I think it's got a really good strong airframe. I think it flies really nice and very good controls. You know, I didn't really see any real lag there, other than of course trying to recover, but that's, you know, a little bit too low of battery. The battery's getting low, so it couldn't recover against the wind pushing it. You know, that was right at the end of the video, so watch that segment a couple times and you'll actually be able to hear the propellers and what happened, what I did when I cut it back and then tried to go back up again. And yeah, it didn't go so well, so at least we didn't get any damage, so that was good. Now, I would like to see some changes here, and they really need to be done. Cross bracing across the bottom here and here, front and back, okay, really needs to be taken care of because the landing gear is a little on the flimsy side, okay, and that needs to be addressed, I think. As well as the screws. The screws need to be a little bit longer and I think a little bit more bite, a little bit more meat on the screws, so a little bit of a coarser thread. Now, I'm going to go through these screws myself because my one screw, actually both screw holes are pretty well stripped on the one side. I know the one is for sure because the screw actually fell out on the table. So I'm going to have to go through my screw collection, find some meatier screws, and I'm going to actually reinforce that part ahead of time, but there's nothing I can do with this right now myself, but you know, that definitely needs to be addressed because that will then save the camera, okay? Got to save the camera. There were a couple of videos I had seen on YouTube already from some guys that have gotten these in from GearBest, and they were reviewing them, and you know, generally they are a great flyer. They had a few hiccups and ended up with a crash and damaged the cameras, and that kind of sucks. But I don't know exactly what went wrong, but from what I saw, you know, you hit concrete and you pop a leg, you're gonna destroy that camera. I got very, very lucky that I did not destroy the camera on this, so I'm quite thankful for that. So hopefully the next few flights for you guys will go really awesome, including a night flight. I want to get a night flight going, and I want to get some FPV from the camera footage for you guys as well. So there will be a final review on this thing down the road, next little bit anyway, see how the weather cooperates anyhow, and we'll get that done for you. But in the meantime, I do think it's a great little quad. I think it's definitely a worthwhile investment. I think the price that even GearBest is asking is pretty fair, you know. If it does show up cheaper elsewhere, hey, I'm all for buying cheaper, right? But you do need to be aware that, you know, this is a aerial photography drone. It is not made as an adrenaline rush junkie type speed freak, okay? And as such, you have to fly it accordingly and treat it accordingly. You know, and I think if we can get that landing gear problem solved, I think this will be as near perfect as a near perfect drone does get for being an awesome little machine. You know, and it is a very unique style. I really like the drop style in there. That's actually really cool, and I can't wait to get this thing outside at night and fly it because I've seen just the company video on it, and the thing lights up really nice at night, so that's pretty impressive, so I can't wait to see that for myself.
But anyways, guys, that pretty much covers it for this video. Look forward to more videos, and look forward to my actual final findings on this machine in the end. But things are actually looking really, really good so far, with the exception of our landing gears being an issue. So, catch you on the next one.